I challenged myself to read for 24 hours, and this is how it went.
I started the timer, and the first book I chose to read was called Final Girl Support Group.
We were going so well. What is the need for this or this?
Anyways, the book follows this woman named Lynette, who is a final girl. What is a final girl, I hear you ask? A final girl is the last person left standing in a horror movie after all her friends and family have been killed by the bad guy E.G. Sidney from Scream and Laurie from Halloween.
It's hour 3. I haven't really been like that invested. Maybe too many characters were introduced at the start. I don't know, because they were talking about people and it took me a little while to realize who was who and everything. This is taking me a really long time to read, and I'm literally feeling very unwell and very sick about a lot of things that I would share, but this book has given me a new perspective on like really being careful what you tell people. We'll go from there.
Anyway, Lynette is a girl who survived a massacre. For more than a decade, she's been meeting with 5 other final girls and their therapist in a support group. She has OCD and is extremely paranoid, which is why no one takes her seriously when she tells everyone they are being hunted down.
I don't like first person for a number of reasons, but another thing I don't like is when in scary books, they're an unreliable narrator. I have a really strong feeling that this woman is an unreliable narrator. If not, the therapist is doing something, because I don't trust the therapist. Alright, I don't trust the therapist.
10 seconds later.
Okay, it's not the therapist anymore, she just thinks it's the therapist. There is too many pages left of this book for it to be the first person that she thinks of. So the therapist, I don't know what's happening. 1010, angel numbers. Okay, this is your sign. Whatever decision you made the right one. Don't have any regrets. It was the right decision to make.
To be honest, I didn't like it. Maybe because it's from a female perspective, but written by a male author.
I hate this main character. I hate her.
Here a hornet tried to bust my window down.
Okay, maybe I've been a bit rash. Didn't run away this time.
Finishing time for finishing book.
So this is over. I don't really know what else to say. I feel like the writing was really disorganized, but I feel like because it was written in first person, that's supposed to explain her mental state, and that's why it was so random and everything, because that's like just how she was thinking. But this book just, it wasn't for me. I'm reading this because I feel like sometimes when we read a bad book, the next book we read may not be that great, it just may be better than the bad one, and so we are like, oh my gosh, this book is good, even though it's not really, it's just better than the other one. So I'm reading this, channeling back into my 10-year-old self, and I hate that I can relate to this.
New Moon is the second book in the Twilight Saga. It follows Bella, a normal girl in her relationship with a young werewolf, to essentially make her vampire ex-boyfriend jealous. Since this is a safe space, I will tell you that Edward Cullen was my first love.
As you can see, we are about halfway through this challenge. The book now I'm going to reread is Lord of the Flies. This one is one of my favorite books of all time. I will say that it's probably going to get me to like the 19th hour mark, because it's not a very like long book, like it's a very short book. Okay, let's get into it.
Lord of the Flies is a book that follows a group of schoolboys who have been stranded on a deserted island after a plane crash. It is actually a really deep book and explores many complex themes, including civilization and savagery, biological human nature, and loss of innocence.
A tip that I have so that your entire life doesn't get disrupted is listening to the audiobook version, and I'm gonna go on the treadmill. Listening to it counts as reading it, and my eyes kind of hurt. So I'm gonna listen to the audiobook version of it.
The really neat thing about classics is that a lot of the time they are just free on YouTube. I also like audiobooks because you can do other things while still absorbing the text. Take this puzzle, for example.
Okay, so I have about 6 hours left of this challenge. I don't really feel like talking anymore, so I'm just going to tell you the 2 books that I'm going to read, and then a nice little montage, and then it's going to be over because I'm getting antsy. The first book I'm going to read is The Great Gatsby, which should take me not very long to read because, first of all, I already know what happens. I've read this book inside and out. I had to study it when I was like 14, so it's gonna be simple, it's gonna be easy to read, but I just need something that, I don't know, I feel like reading this. And then once I finish that, I will be reading Coraline, because this is a very quick book to read. This edition has pictures in it. Should only take me like a few hours. Like look how big the writing is. You know, it's a kid's book, but I feel like reading a kid's book. So that's gonna be it. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm over this. I don't want to do this anymore. Let's restart the timer.
We are on the home stretch now. The Great Gatsby is a novel set in the Jazz Age on Long Island, near New York City. It follows narrator Nick Carraway's interactions with mysterious rich boy Jay Gatsby and Gatsby's obsession with his first love, Daisy, who is a married woman with a child. In my opinion, Gatsby and Nick should have gotten together to become a power couple, because let's be real, they were able to confide in each other and spend time in ways they couldn't with anyone else. Sounds like true love to me. Coraline is a novella written by Neil Gaiman. It tells the story of Coraline Jones, a curious and very bored 9-year-old, who finds a doorway to a parallel, sinister otherworld inside her new home, and must battle the evil, other mother, or beldam who lives there to secure her family's safety. The book is much creepier than the movie. I went a little over the challenge, but that's okay. I'm also not speaking because I think I lost my voice. In this clip I was delirious.